Welcome to Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben. We are here to educate you and coach you through any kind of relationship issues that you are dealing with. Our channel includes talk shows, documentaries, debates, and much, much more.
When you're welcome to another segment of Complicated Relationship with me. And I believe that you are going to have a great day today. And last week we delved into a complicated relationship that was titled Navigating an Unloved Relationship. But this week we are going to look into a different topic. So the topic for this week will actually be different from the one that we had last week. But before we go on, I will actually encourage you to subscribe to our channel, like our videos, and at the same time, click the notification bell so that anytime we've got a video, you're going to be the first person to be notified. And before we go further, let's quickly go on this break.
This is Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben, adding life and values to relationships.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I believe you are well seated to go along with us today. Just normally, what we normally do would be to share a life story with you on complicated relationship matters. Then we now ask the viewers to share their opinions. So I believe that people would have actually seen people have gone through similar kind of um, relationship issues, and maybe you two have gone through it before, but there are people there who are shy to actually voice out what they're going through. But when they hear what you tell them, when they hear your opinion, your view, that could actually be a kind of support for this kind of people. Without much wasting much time, I will want us to go straight into the topic for today. The topic for today is quite different, like I said, from the one that we had last week. This is the topic for today with multiple complication with my ex. Multiple complication with my ex. That's the title for today. Now let's quickly dive into that. Thank you. We'll begin this story simply. This is a life story of someone, and she wants me to share this with you so that you could actually advise her on what she would do. Now, the title of today's broadcast, like I said to you, is Multiple Complication with My Ex. Multiple complication with my ex. Let's quickly go to chapter 1. Now, in the beginning, at the onset of this relationship, there's a guy called um, John, and there's another lady called Mary. They met in high school. They met in high school. Um, John was 2 years older than Mary, but they got attracted to each other and they fell in love. So they started their relationship quite all right. It was quite a very, very blissful relationship. And as the relationship began to wax stronger and stronger, they moved into that next stage of courtship. And because John and Mary, they counted it worthy that it was time to move the relationship into the next level of actually going into kind of courtship and proposal. So John proposed to Mary on this particular day, and Mary accepted the proposal, and then they started courting. They courted for so many years. Like I said, they met in a high school, so they courted for so many years before they finally decided that they wanted to settle down. So they settled down, they had this wedding. It was a kind of a big kind of wedding. And after settling down, they began to have their own family. So Mary and John had two children, and two children in this relationship. And as things began to develop one way or the other, things started so good. But at the end of the day, they lost it somehow. I think they outgrew each other in this kind of relationship. When Mary was telling me her story, she said she did not actually could pinpoint what went wrong, but there was kind of a deviation that she felt that she outgrew the relationship at the end of the day, that John was not actually upkeeping, or was not working towards making sure that relationship was working. But and it was quite a very disastrous ending at the end of the day. They had to separate for a while. After separation, they went for the divorce. But John moved on and got married to a lady called Jessica. And Mary also moved on and got married to a guy called Roland. Roland was a kind of a very, very protective, or it was extremely protective of Mary, and he wouldn't actually want John to have any contact with Mary. But you need to understand that when they had to divorce, what actually happened was that the custody of the children was with Mary. And John would want to contact Mary one way or the other, but Mary would be avoiding the contact because of Roland. Because Roland, the new husband, wouldn't be very happy seeing John, the ex of Mary, conversing or chatting with Mary regarding the children. So this was how the relationship was actually going on. But one particular day, what actually happened was that Mary and John were invited to a particular party by a mutual friend. So when they got to this party, John was able to actually have a chat with Mary, and as we were chatting, he asked after the children, and one thing grew into another. After a while, they deviated into talking about other things, and they got into each other, and they had a one-night stand. They were drunk that night, and that was the situation for that night. Then after a while, Mary discovered that she was pregnant, and she tried as much as possible to get an abortion. When she got to her doctor, the doctor actually had to give her a candid advice that it was very, very dangerous for her to have that abortion because of the complications that would be the outcome of that abortion. So Mary decided to keep the pregnancy, okay? So now the issue right then would be how it was going to break the news to her husband, Roland, and also to her ex, John. At the end of this, she summoned the courage to break this news to Roland, her husband, and also to John, her ex-husband, about the pregnancy. Roland was not happy about the situation at all, and Roland decided to walk away from that relationship, leaving Mary with the children and the pregnancy. Now, with regards to John, when John heard about that, and it was a kind of a mixed feeling for John, because John did not know how Jessica, his wife, was going to handle that situation. But when Jessica was told about that situation, Jessica saw it as a kind of a setup that he saw it as a kind of setup that Mary wanted John back into her life. So Jessica guided the whole relationship in such a way that he said to John that he would never, never, never allow the event of that day or what had happened to actually make her walk away. So Jessica remained in that marriage. She did not walk away from that marriage, but she said she was going to salvage the situation. Then then that was how it went. But as regard to the children, the children in that relationship, actually, that, don't you remember, they belong, all the kids now, both the pregnancy and the two kids, they all belong to John. So the other two kids what they actually wanted, that they wanted their father back in their lives. They wanted their father back, and that what they wanted, Mary, their mother, and John who is now married to another lady called Jessica. They want them back. That's the position of the children. But they were actually disappointed that their mother could actually go to that extent to just mess up the whole situation anyway. But what are the takeaways from this story? One, the takeaways and the point to note on this story is quite very straightforward. Now, remember that John and Mary were in love. They started everything. They were in love, They thought they're going to live happily ever anyway together. But at a point, remember, they fell out of love and went their separate ways. Then remember, John moved on, moved on and marry Jessica. Okay, moved on to marry Jessica anyway. And after that, Mary also moved on as well to marry Roland. So that was the situation as it was. Then again, we have to understand that Mary had the custody of the children between herself and John. Okay, and Roland did not support or encourage any contact between Mary, his wife, and John, his wife X. So John didn't like the situation of not being able to meet with his children or get to receive updates on them at all. Okay. Now, John and Mary John and Mary, sorry, that's a mistake there. John and Mary, okay, met in a mutual friend's party. Roland was not present in that party. So that was where things went wrong. That was where the complication came into being. Remember, they got drunk, they were chatting and they deviated from the chat on the welfare of the children and they went into each other. And they had a one-night stand, and that led into that complication of being pregnant at the end of the day. Now, John seeks the opportunity to chat remember in the party, John seeks the opportunity to chat with Mary about the children. At the point, there was a twist in their conversation. So John and Mary had a one-night stand that later led to her being pregnant at the end of the day. So Mary wanted to abort the pregnancy, but was advised against doing so by her doctor, stating the issue of complications. So Mary informed her husband and her ex about the situation. Roland walked out of that marriage with Mary, but Jessica headed on to John. Then Mary was confused on the way forward. The children Mary had with John are asking questions. Okay, Mom, why did you do that? Mom, what would do? All those kind of questions kids would ask because they knew what was going on at the end of the day. And Roland felt betrayed, but questioning his decision to walk away. So he had made up his mind to walk away, but at the end of the day, the situation was that he was not questioning the decision to now walk away. So the two children, Mary and John had together wanted John, their father, back with their mom, Mary. So the big question now is, what would you do if you were Mary? How would you have handled the situation if you were Roland or John? How do you see Jessica's position in the whole scenario? Do you have a life story relating to the type of kind of complicated relationship that you want to share with us? The viewers wants to know and learn from you. So this is the end of the story for today. It will be quite very, very brief because we normally make our story very, very brief so that we could give time to our viewers to call in and share their experience. So it's now time. Just think deeply about this short story. This is a life story of someone, okay? And that she shared, and she wanted me to share that with you so that you could actually open up and share your opinion with regards to what should be done in this kind of situation, okay? So that's what we're looking into right now. So the calling number would be displayed on the screen shortly. One of the calling numbers would be for the UK landline. Okay, that we could call in if you're from the UK or you have an access to call UK landline number. The other number would be an Irish number, which is a kind of a mobile number. So you could actually use the WhatsApp as well, because we have a WhatsApp attached to that number as well. You can also call through the WhatsApp as well, or you call directly on that number, so that people could actually, so you could use that to share your opinion on this issue that we are talking about today. Okay. The numbers will be. I think I have the numbers here. Okay. Okay, yeah, I've got numbers here. So these are the numbers now that are displayed on the screen right now. The UK landline is simply 0044 203 0066 914. And I repeat again, 0044 203 0066 914. That's for the UK landline number. And for the Irish number, that is the Highland Mobile, and the WhatsApp number would be 00353 899 666 666 22 and 1. I repeat again, 00353 899 666 22 and 1. That's the number that you are to call. So I'm going to declare the line. I'm going to open the line now for the call to come in, while we begin to look into this situation, how best Mary could handle this situation, how best Roland could have handled, Roland could have handled this situation. How did, the way John handled it was the right way. What's the position of Jessica in the whole situation? If you were in that position, if you were in their shoes, what would you have done? What would you have done? What would you have done? So you are free to call in right now. So the number is displayed on the screen. This is such a very, very moving story. When Mary shared this story with me, I just felt, oh, you need to hear about this. Mary said, share my story. Let them know what I'm going through. I just want someone to talk to me. I need support. I need support. I need support. So you're free. Just share your opinion. So we'll be here. I mean, looking forward to hearing from you. Okay, we'll be here looking forward to hearing from you. So we'll be here looking forward to hearing from you. This is a life story. She needs to have.
This is Complicated Relationship Matters with Dr. Mark Ben, adding life and values to relationships.
Wow, so here she needs to have. So what do we do? So how do we handle that situation? That is what we want to hear from. The number, I will display the number again on the studio right now. 1 second. The number will be there in a moment. 1 second, yeah. Yeah, that's the number there now. You have it on the screen. So for Ireland, as like I said, it's +353. It's so wait for the caller. So that's the number now updated now. So it's 353-899-666-221. Like for me, like the way I'm actually looking at the whole situation is that one, that pregnancy could have been prevented. I believe that pregnancy could have been prevented. So I'm looking at it from the point of view that could it be that Mary wanted to be pregnant for John. Did she have any ulterior motive? And because it takes time before a sexual encounter develops into getting pregnant. I mean, so a lot of things could be done along the line. You know what I'm saying? This could have been prevented one way or the other. So what is wrong? So could it be that Mary went into this deliberately? Or then also, let's talk about John. Could it be deliberate? Could it be deliberate that he wanted to break Mary's home? Because at the end of the day, Roland, the husband of Mary, walked away. So there are a lot of questions here. So we have to actually say how best to handle this situation. So let's quickly begin to hear from you. If you're having problem calling, please could you just send me a text, please, because the line is open. Okay. No. Hello. Did you hear the story? Did you hear the story? Hello.
Hello.
I can hear you. Hello, I can hear you.
Well,
Okay, you could, yeah, you could, I think the volume is restricts high now. So, okay, go ahead, please.
yes, I can hear. It's really, really low.
Okay, just speak ahead and just speak anyway.
Yes, I did hear the story.
So, how would you have handled that if you were Mary?
Like I would have just talked about the kids and nothing else. Don't just avoid him as much as I can. Talk about the kids and move away.
You talk about the case and move away. So you will center your conversation on just the case, nothing more, nothing else.
Yes,
So you believe that Mary deviated. Mary was the one that caused the whole issue, yeah?
yes. She would have avoided that.
Because an X is an X, isn't that? Isn't it?
Yes, an X is an X and nothing else really.
Hmm. Then the position of
Like
Roland,
you don't entertain an ex. It's all about the kids and that's all. No entertainment at all.
okay, then the decision, the decision of the husband walking away, um, what I mean, do you think that was the right decision for Roland to have walked away?
Yes. Next time Mary will not even try because she betrayed his trust and I don't think that was fair for her to do that to him. So I do believe he had all the right to leave really.
Hmm. Is there no place for forgiveness?
I think it depends with people. Some people can take things and forgive, but some people like they wouldn't forgive. Not that they wouldn't forgive the person, but they wouldn't take that kind of behavior from anyone.
Okay, would you? You know, in the story, remember that Roland was very, very protective. He never like consented or agreed to Mary and the ex, John, talking or meeting together, would even discuss about the kids? Do you think that it went overboard with that, or do you think it was suspicious, or he didn't trust Mary? So,
Maybe actually he didn't trust her. Maybe there were things, yes. Maybe he didn't trust her.
mm,
Maybe Mary, there were things that she displayed that the husband knew that no, there's still something.
wow. Hmm. Now put yourself in the position of Jessica. Yeah. Now put yourself in the position of Jessica.
Yes.
Remember her own stand. She refused to let go of John.
I think that's why I say it just depends with a person. Like some people will take that kind of treatment from people. Some other people will be like, I wouldn't take nobody who treat me that way, so they walk away. But for her, she decided to stay, maybe to work. Yeah, like
She decided to stay.
she decided to stay, so it means for her that she can manage and take that treatment from the husband. I just believe it depends with a person. Some people wouldn't take that treatment because they believe if they take that such treatment, the person will do it again, will keep doing it. So that's why some people they decide to walk away. They will just they know how they are valued. They will just walk away immediately, and like they won't take that from anyone.
Hmm.
Because you're supposed to respect me in the relationship. You are supposed to really love each other, and you don't have to cheat on me. Like you cheat on me, no, that's a no no. Unless, like I know as Christians, it's like we have to forgive. That's where sometimes it makes it a little bit harder because as Christians, our we have to forgive. But like truly, the treatment that people, some things that people do, I
Mhm.
don't know.
So
For me, I feel that some things are just not acceptable. Like no,
really,
yes.
wow. Okay. If you were to have a third party that wants to mediate in that situation and tells you to accept him back, or no, I'll tell you to accept her. Like if you were Roland, what would you have done?
To take her back.
Yeah.
That's why I said, like Roland, probably Roland is those type of guys who won't tolerate any nonsense from no one. So they wouldn't even listen to anyone at all. They made up their mind. I'm leaving. I don't think probably they did try to talk to people, and Roland had already made up his mind like that. There is no way I would take her back now. Because I think even biblical, he's right. Like because the lady, the wife committed, is it adultery?
I'm listening.
So the wife actually sinned. So even God will back Ronald. So he is not doing anything wrong by leaving her.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I think Mary is listening right now, wherever she is right now. She's listening because she asked us to actually hear this so that people could actually know. So I should actually hear what people. I mean, she would know what I mean. Hear people's opinion, and then she will decide on what to actually do right now. But as it is right now, Mary is just with the kids. Okay, Roland has walked away, and one way or the other, John still comes to see the kids. Now, since John still have access to see the kids, don't you think anything could still happen over and over again?
It will happen.
This is complicated.
It's gonna happen again. But she is still allowing him to come in.
Hmm.
Why is she allowing him? Take the kids, go meet Ronald somewhere, drop the kids there. Don't come to my house.
Okay, okay, okay. That's a very that's another way to look at this situation. That's another way to look at this situation. Thank you so much for your call.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. God bless.
Bye.
Bye. Hello, man. Can you hear us? We are live.
Yeah, but I was log in.
Okay, now. Okay, now. One thing like
Was log in, but I will need another phone not to be able to dial in, isn't it?
okay, I could speak with you directly on this one now. I can speak to you directly on this phone.
Me and Terry
Hello? Yeah,
connecting.
yes, again. I can speak with you directly on this phone.
Yes.
Oh, now the
Okay,
stop.
I can join
Yeah, can
the
join.
master like that.
Yes, like that. Yes, please. Now the
Okay.
I want to put you on
Can I
this.
talk?
You can talk. Yeah, you heard the story.
Can I?
Yeah, did you hear the story?
No, well, I'm just going to answer to the last question you asked.
Okay, okay,
That I think the last caller was saying something about it could happen again. I think they need to find um, another avenue and not the house. If he was to come in to visit, it shouldn't be in the new home because obviously the new partner, um, is open to all sorts, and they are open to all sorts. So whatever has happened before is going to happen again because it's happening in the home, and that is not it's not ideal. They need to find a different venue to meet or for him to see the children. It should not be in their home or in her parents' home.
okay, okay. Now that's fine. Now somebody just sent a text right now that he didn't hear the story. Okay, I'll quickly summarize the story. Okay, so that you could actually add more to it. Okay, one. Mary, there's a lady called Mary. There's a guy called John. Okay, they met when they were in high school. Okay, and they fell in love, and they were able to sustain that love for so many years. So John ended up proposing to Mary, and they started courting. Okay, and they got married, and they had two kids in that marriage, one boy and one girl. Okay. Then after a while, you know how marriage could be turbulent at times. I think Mary said she grew out, she outgrew the relationship at the end of the day. So they were separated. After a while, they got divorced. Okay. Now Mary moved on and married a guy called Roland. That's a new husband. Okay. John also moved on and married another woman, and that lady called Jessica. Okay. Now, but Roland was very protective of Mary. Okay, and he would never allow Mary to actually maybe take a call or have a chat with the ex John regarding the kids. Okay, that has been the situation. Okay, and it's like Roland was guiding his wife jealously. Okay, now that was the situation. Then there was a particular day that a mutual friend invited um, Mary and joined to a party. Then when John met Mary at this party, they started chatting, asking about the kids. Then they deviated from the kids and went into some other stuff. And one thing led to another. They had a one night stand. And that one night stand led into a pregnancy. She was pregnant, okay? Now she wanted to abort she wanted to go for abortion. When she got to her doctor, the doctor said it would be so complicated, okay, that that it will advise against her not aborting, going on abortion, okay? And that was the story. And now she decided to keep that pregnancy, okay, or keep that baby, so to speak. Now, the dilemma was how would she break the news to the ex, okay, John, and her husband, Roland. At the end of the day, she summoned courage. She broke the news to both of them, okay? Roland decided to take a walk, okay? He left. But with Jessica, who was married to John, he saw the situation as a ploy, okay, that to take John away from her. So she said no, she was going to fight for her own marriage, and she's remained in that relationship with John, okay? And so we now have a situation whereby all the kids now, the kids with, because look, I did tell you this, the custody of the kids, Mary had the custody of the kids, okay? Right. Now, which means with the baby in the womb and the two kids, all they all belong to John, who is now married to Jessica. Okay, so the question right now is simply this. I'm going to go on that quickly now. See the question. This is the question. Okay, 1 second. What would you do if you were married? How would you have handled the situation if you were Roland or John? How do you see Jessica's position in the whole scenario? Do you have a life story related to this type of complicated relationship that you want to share? The viewer wants to know. These are things. So, in that word, what would you do if you were in that shoe? Or do you think that these people, all the decisions being taken by each individual in this whole story, do you think they took the right decision? So, what will you do? That is where we are right now.
All right. Because I can't remember their names properly. Wife number one.
Number one, Mary. Mary.
Which is the Mary.
Yeah.
You will forever. Well, I don't know that. That's my own take. People might say differently. In is out, it will remain out. That's the way I will look at it. He left. He for some reason, you know, he got united or had the one night stand with her ex. He got pregnant, so at least he's out and she will remain out. So the new wife who is at home, I'm glad that she stood her ground and she said, you know what, I'm not going to leave this marriage. This is my home now. This is my marriage now. And I'm going to make it work. She remains in her home because that's her marriage. Right. As for the ex who is in between, the ex as the new, because he's wearing two titles now.
Yeah, the new or the old, yeah.
He still have allegiance. He still has some responsibility towards her ex and the two kids. You know, the pregnancy and the two kids. He still have responsibility towards them. I would not suggest that he breaks away from the new wife and because the ex is not pregnant for him. And it will make it even further, that would be too much complication. Then he's had two broken homes already. And there is no guarantee that the ex still loves him as much as, if he had not left home at all. As much as this is complicated, everybody stay where they are. But he still have responsibility towards the two kids that he had before and the unborn child. He has responsibility there. So his new home, he has to maintain them. and and build on his on his marriage. That's the thing.
Remember, he has
Happened.
all the kids. All the kids belongs to him. The two kids and the one in the womb now. So I would he like manage that. And with the wife he has right now, there's no kid. And again, I forgot to tell you about this. Okay, the two kids.
There's still no ground.
Yeah,
There's still no
kids.
ground for
Hold
him
on.
to walk away from his new home.
The
There's
two
still
kids.
no ground. It doesn't mean if he's not pregnant now, doesn't mean that she will never be pregnant or she will never have a child of her own.
Yeah. Now there's this
That is, yeah.
there's another complication here right now. But how will you handle this? The two kids want mama and papa back. They want their dad back in their life. Understand? They are actually clamoring for that as well. That's part of the story. So how do you handle that if your kid is telling you, oh, now the course is clear, we want our dad back. Now that Roland has walked away, since
Mhm.
the child in the womb is my brother, and let's
Yeah.
have our family back. That's what the kids are clamoring for as well. So how do you handle that with the kids if you're in that position?
Okay. First of all, where does the two kids, where do they reside? Who has the
Mary.
custody? Is it
Mary,
the ex?
yeah. Mary has the custody of the kids
Father.
all along.
Mary has the
Mary,
custody.
yeah, Mary, the woman.
Yes. Oh, they can as much as desire that they want they want their father back. The fact that the mom
Yeah.
has already moved on and he's built a new home for them, yeah, and 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 the dad, he's moved on as well. He has a new family. I still maintain the fact that they still have, no matter how much the kids desire, because this relationship, it will be controlled by the adults and not the children.
That's a point.
The relationship is controlled by by the adults and not the children. Right. So if something else happens further down the line, will the children be the one to be in control? Will they be the one that is making decisions? No. The decision still lies with the adult that is involved at the moment. And so therefore, in order not to complicate issues further than what it is, we need to now put things back into perspective, or else the damage limitation will be worse. Because the new wife, there's no way she's already make her stand here. She's not moving. This is what she has put thrown into this relationship, and so therefore, and to this marriage, and so therefore she's not shifting. And she's right to do, and she's within her right to do that. So therefore, the children cannot now decide. They can't decide for the father, or they can't decide for the mother. As you make your bed, so must you lie on it. It is the adult in quote that has made this situation, and it is the adult that needs to fix it and make it right. So the father has to be there for those children, emotionally, physically, financially. That's all he can offer those children at the moment, or else there will be too much damage control that we're going to be doing. So he has to create that stability for those children. It's rather unfortunate, and it's going to be outside of the new. It can't be. If you can now want to create another family, it doesn't. It won't work.
That's very good.
It's too risky. It is very risky.
Very, very risky. That's what makes it very complicated.
Yeah. So the thing is, he has to support with the children and the unborn child. outside of his new home. He has to. If he does, if he, that's all he can do. But he cannot walk away from his new marriage and decide, what, oh, sorry, I need to go back to where I'm coming from. It doesn't work that way because there is somebody's emotion is on the line.
Hmm. Emotion, and that is one of the things that
Exactly.
Mm.
And it can be traumatic for the new wife.
Mm.
You can't just say, oh, marriage is not it's not something that you just like turn up like tap water on as you demand or as need arises. No, it's not something that you can't just turn on and off as the need arises. You've decided to walk away and start a new life and start on a clean slate. Yes, the mistake has happened, but you still have a responsibility for those children you had before. Whether your new wife has got a child or hasn't got a child, time will tell. And she will have her own child, her own children. So you cannot run away and say, oh, because you don't have it, you don't have any children. Well, he never had in the first instance when the two of you met. So that is not enough ground for him to say, oh, well, let me go back to my ex. I tell you what, whatever broke them in the first instance will happen again. Or, because you cannot change an individual. It doesn't mean got pregnant once again the first time. It doesn't mean it is a changed woman. If you too much decided, okay, that's it, I'm done with you. It doesn't mean he's not a changed person, and it doesn't mean the ex himself, the man himself, is a changed person. So if they have not actually been gone for counseling, all sorts, them just jumping at the sight of danger, doesn't mean that, all is well. Because they are still the same old person that was left from before. Nothing has changed. And if they have been so careless to decide to have one night stand and then become pregnant and then still decide I'm not going to get rid of the pregnancy, I'm going to kill the baby. Knowing fully well that your ex is not married, he's got another woman. What does that say about you as the ex woman? What does that say about you? Do you get what I'm saying? Because he's even making it worse for the man. So it's not even about the kids now. It is the adults that need to step up and fix up. And and be the parent and be the responsible parent, because they have both, displayed immaturity, irresponsible. You already said your bye-byes. The two of you, you've already made new homes. Let me say new homes, new family, new setup. So why did you decide to have a one-night stand? And when you did decide to have a one-night stand, why did you decide to keep the pregnancy? And they're both irresponsible, as far as I'm concerned. But in order not to mess other people's emotions and create unnecessary trauma, they need to stop. Be responsible for the mess you have found yourself, and keep your home.
Yeah, would you say okay, this is okay, let me put it this way. This is the way I'm saying it. Since Mary was the one that like called the shots with regards to to leaving John because she felt she had outgrown the relationship as at that time. Could it be that maybe she had a kind of a rethink and saw that opportunity as a way of drawing in, of bringing in, of getting into John, or bringing him back into her life? Like you said, because she could have, that pregnancy was avoided. I mean, could be avoided. Let me put it that way. It could be avoided. I'm saying now, in many ways. Okay, but why did she allow it happen? Could it be kind of a premeditated stuff at the end of the day? What does feel?
Well, that is what I think has not changed. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
Yes, because you just said that okay, she was the one that actually walked away from the previous relationship. Yeah, she's the one that actually walked away. But situation has not changed, and now she's being manipulated. Because that's manipulation. What he did there is manipulation. He manipulated and he took undue advantage of her ex.
Hmm.
You understand what I'm
I
saying?
do. I do. I
He
do.
could be he could be the weak, he could be the weaker person in the relationship. Yeah? And he knows what he was doing. He premeditated.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's you've actually thrown so much light on this from different perspective. Now, Roland is actually questioning his decision if he had taken the right decision. So, what do you think? Do you think Roland took the right decision? Because now she he did walk away fine, but
What,
according to the story, she's now,
what decision did he make?
you know, Roland was the new husband, so to speak. Okay.
Okay,
He
walking
walked
away.
away, but at the end of the day, was now questioning that decision and asking
He
himself,
made, he made the right decision.
okay,
He made the right decision because this is a man. And because there is because there are children involved in this, you understand?
yeah,
And a new child is involved. There is an unborn child,
unborn child,
right?
yeah,
There still be a constant what's it called in interaction or interference.
hmm,
You understand that will forever be is continuous interference from the ex because he will say, okay, I need to see my children. I want to see my unborn child. And where does that leave Roland? Where does that leave him? I'm talking of the new person,
yeah,
new man. Where does that leave him? And if he hasn't had he hasn't had any child of his own, where does that leave him? He will just be like a book end. He's just there. He's just like a book end. He's just there. That's nothing. Because he wouldn't have the attention of his wife, of his so-called wife or new wife. Because the new wife, well, let's say, her attention is divided. Whether we like it or not, there's still an ounce of affection that he had for her ex. And like the previous speaker said, what is the guarantee that it won't happen again? He is very manipulative, and that is why Ola needs to leave.
hmm,
Already, the kids are saying that they want their father back. I will, that thing is a broken, is a broken marriage. You know, that family is broken, it's fragmented, is a fraction. because the new husband is just going to Bruna is just going to be there like a figurehead. Wow. Wait, there's nothing there for him to be called.
Okay.
There's nothing there for him.
Okay. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello.
Hello?
Hello. Yeah, I can hear you now. Thank you, man. Hello. Please, who's calling? What's your name?
Hello?
Hello, I can hear you. We can hear you. You are live.
I want to shed some light on the topic as well. And I would like to start with
Speak louder, please. It's like you're speaking a low voice there.
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay. Hello?
Hello, I can hear you now.
I was thinking about the situation between Mary, John, Roland, and Jessica.
Okay.
And here is my take on it. I totally understand why Roland left. Because as far as this concerned, his fears are more or less like confirmed. Because obviously he probably had some insecurities to do with Mary. And that was why he didn't feel comfortable
Okay.
with Mary having any connection with her ex-husband.
Okay. Okay. So we lost that. Let me see if I can bring that in. Okay, it's coming like a 108. Hello.
Vodafone voicemail service
Hello?
for
Well, don't worry, I try to call you. Okay, that's fine. So this will be louder. Yeah, this will be a good one. Hello, yeah, we can hear you now. It's louder now. Okay, go ahead, please.
well,
Fantastic.
fine.
Okay.
I mean, my take is I can totally understand where Roland is coming from. Because especially in a situation where you already had hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you clear and loud.
Okay, good. In a situation where there's already insecurity, where you already felt a certain way that, because I believe that was why he wasn't comfortable with her having any relationship with her ex-husband, John.
Okay.
So then later finding out that she got pregnant by him, due to the one night stand, in his mind, he's like, oh, definitely my fears are now confirmed. And I can totally understand why he had to leave. But I'll want to go back to Mary and John.
Mary and John, yeah.
Yes, as much as I believe that it was the one night stand, it was a mistake. I don't really totally also believe that it was a mistake.
Okay.
Because I mean, for them to have to have even them to be comfortable enough to then have a sort of conversation that would have that would have even led to a one night stand already shows that
This
neither
is
of them
Complicated
respect the
Relationship
relationship
Matters with
that they
Dr.
have.
Mark Ben, adding life
Neither of
and
them respect
values to
marriage.
relationships.
Jessica didn't. John didn't respect Jessica,
Okay.
and Mary didn't respect Roland. And I totally get it. When two people have been married before, and that is why I always think that it's always better before you get into a new relationship to make sure there is no unfinished business in the old relationship. Because usually this is what usually happens.
So what's
There's
the
an
sorry?
unfinished business.
What do you think is the unfinished business in the relationship between Mary and John?
I believe they still have some feelings for each other. Sometimes when in a relationship they say sometimes love is not enough. You see people that probably still love each other, but somehow for whatever reason, marriage falls apart. It might be due to finances, it might be due to pressure,
Yeah.
it might be, so many things, so many factors can affect a relationship and can also break a relationship. And sometimes it has nothing to do with love. And that's why you see some people, they'll break up 2 years later, they come back together. Because the reason they broke up the first time has nothing to do with them not loving each other. It was just that it was so many other factors that were involved,
Okay.
and things happened. And somewhere along the line, maybe, tempers got in the way and, before they realized, I don't want you, okay, at least I don't want you, they go their separate ways. Then years later, they're missing each other. One thing leads to another. You see them, I know a couple that went their separate ways. They had 2 kids. They came back together, ended up having 4 kids. They came back 5 years later and ended up having 4 children.
So plus the two they had before, is it? They had 2 before they break.
They came back together and ended up having 6, again 4.
That was that was kind of a double portion, yeah.
But by the time they broke up, you would never think they would ever come back together.
Wow, that's interesting.
They never, but
Never say never, never say never. Okay.
and today they're still together. Many years later, they're still together. The kids are adults, So now the kids are having their own children, now they're grandparents. So I'm just saying that sometimes in a relationship, it's more complex. Especially, and that's why I personally always believe that it's always better before you jump into another relationship. I probably wasn't happier with John. There might have been some other things, but it had nothing to do with her not loving John. And maybe that's why she loved John. And John, because he wasn't the one that initiated the leaving, the end of the marriage, he obviously probably still had feelings for Mary as well. And then, then coming together, maybe decide to reminisce about the past. Before you know, if one thing led to another, as toxic as it was, because they clearly were not thinking of their spouses, but it happened. Regrettably, it happened, So in a situation like that, I don't really, when the last caller was talking about, all the adults, the children, about the children cannot be making decisions for the parents. I've never known any broken relationship that the children don't want their parents back together. Children always want their parents together because it's their comfort zone. It's like adding mommy and daddy. I know adults that their parents went their separate ways and even still want their parents together. And these are not even children; these are grown adults. Some are even married, and they, when their parents are good, they say, that's like, what are you talking about? After how many years of living together? You've been together 30 years. What do you mean you're going your separate ways? No, you can't go your separate ways because there's that. There's just that. Almost like a blanket, like a covering, it's security. Because at the end of the day, most children are family. Especially if they've known mommy and daddy to be together, that is what they're familiar with. And as humans, we tend to be, we tend to want to be where when we're comfortable in, And that's what you see, even in some marriages, some children will automatically resent the step parents. It doesn't mean that the first parent is bad. It's the step parent that will then have to work harder to sort of gain their trust. So, I believe that if anybody has to do anything, it's supposed to be John and Mary, because they are the one that created this mess. To me, Roland and Jessica are the victims. And I can understand Jessica wanting to fight for her marriage, but she also has to be careful. Because when it comes to matters of the heart, it's very complicated.
Very tough.
You can fight for the man, you can fight for a marriage, but if your man has, his heart is split into two, he's going to probably live years of unhappiness.
So that's a kind of
to fight for the man.
That's a fragmented heart, yeah.
Exactly. she's gonna find out that she's constantly trying to, almost completely, you know. So it's okay to fight for a marriage, but you have to also be sure that the man you're fighting for actually wants to be in the marriage with you, because he knowingly slept with Mary. We shouldn't forget that fact. You know, it was not a mistake.
We don't know.
That's
We don't know. They call it a one night stand. So maybe something happened. We don't know anyway. So we don't.
It's not a mistake. It's a one night stand. It takes one day. It only takes one moment to make a pregnancy. It's still not a mistake because they willfully slept together. If there was a rape involved, she would have said he raped me.
No,
But she didn't say he raped me. It was a
exactly.
one-night
Exactly.
stand.
One night stand.
A
Yeah.
one night stand is intentional.
She claimed they were drunk.
No.
She claimed they were drunk. Remember? That's on back panel.
To me, that's her not taking responsibility as well. To me, that's her not taking responsibility because at the end of the day, nobody forced the drink down her throat. She got to be drunk. It's a choice.
It's a choice. That's
People are drunk in moderation.
Maybe wherever you are, you are listening. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. So it's a choice.
In moderation. People realize that, you know what? I'm with this. I'm with John. John and I have a history. He's my ex. I don't want to lose my head here and something else will happen. Let me just put this drink down, just and drink water. But she told to drink. They told to them doing it on the drink after they say, they were so drunk, but yet they managed to take their clothes off. They managed to sleep with each other. They were so drunk.
It was a mistake. The clothes flew off their bodies.
The will of the is because
Oh God.
to put each other. At some point, you have to be accountable for your own mess. And it seems to me that, as much as Mary wants an advice, she needs to start to to look inward of herself and begin to take accountability of her own actions. She has to start there. And she has to also understand that Roland has every right to be there. Roland has every right to walk out of the marriage. And indeed, it was a mistake with John. They probably just traveled down memory lane and one thing led to another. But deep down, she loves Roland. Then she needs to fight for Roland. It has nothing to do with the children, the father being in the children's life. Of course, John has to be in his children's life. Because at the end of the day, it's easy for Roland to walk away. He doesn't have any children with her. He has nothing to hold him in that marriage. There's no children. I'm not thinking that I don't have any children with you and you're already bringing another man's child into the house. Then what would happen a few more years down the line? And the situation is, because of the way they've sleeping together that they've done, that they call it one night stand, where we don't know if it's only one, but they say it's one, we just have to believe them, because none of us are there. But the situation is, even if Roland agrees to come back, I'll never trust her. And every time she's around John, you will always think that something has happened. Usually, each time around, they're just not talking about it. And Roland and Jessica will now also think that, maybe it's because she got pregnant.
Yeah.
If she didn't get pregnant, maybe we'll never have known. I wasn't saying it's the one time because just to cover their tracks. I'm not saying that is the situation. I'm just saying that is what the other people will be thinking. We're talking of Roland and Jessica.
And Jessica, yeah.
And rightly so. And rightly so because they are hurt. At the end of the day, what Mary and John have done, and I totally get it. They have kids together. They have history. They probably have unfinished business. Because, for you to jump into bed with your ex, even no matter how drunk you are, the way I look at it, if you don't have an attraction, even if you are drunk, would you have slept with a random stranger and say, oh, I was drunk? You wouldn't. There's an attraction there. The alcohol just simply gave them the courage to go ahead with it. Well, there's definitely an attraction there because if you can't go to a party and be drunk and then go jump into bed with a random stranger. So that's absurd as well. Any decent person would think that's absurd. How can that be? But the reason he was able to do it with Roland, with Ron, is because clearly there's still a level of unfinished business there. So I think that if anybody needs to do the work to clear up this mess, it's the two of them. I'm talking about Mary and John. Because as far as I'm concerned, Jessica and Roland are the victims here. They are not the one that she said, not the one that that went out of their marital covering, So and I also commend Jessica for wanting to keep her marriage. I'm going to keep my marriage, but she also has to be careful as well because at the end of the day, it's okay to want to keep something, but if it is actually, is it? You want to keep a marriage, but is the marriage really functioning the way your marriage is functioning? Because it takes two people to make the marriage work. And if the man his attention is already divided, and he already has feelings for you, and probably still has some unfinished business and unfinished emotions and love for his ex-wife, then there's a problem because then it will end up to be like that kind of marriage. When Princess Diana said there were three of us in the marriage.
Yeah, I remember that.
Exactly. When Princess Diana said it, there were three of us in the marriage, because that's what will happen. There'll be three people in that marriage. It will be Jessica, John, and Mary. So if that's what you want, well, okay. But I think that people, and at the end of the day as well, by saying that we're fighting for my marriage, that way she's making me look at people. Mary's trying to take my man. When the actual fact is, it takes two. From what we've heard about the story, it was something that he could do.
Yeah.
So what we think, there wasn't rape involved. So at what point does even John himself have to take responsibility for what he has done to his wife? Because we keep talking about Mary here, but it takes two to tango.
Yeah.
At what point John should take responsibility that, you know what, I was wrong for cheating on my wife. And I just feel that he seems to be, in this story here, John seems to be having an easy ride. Even his wife too is giving him an easy pass by saying, I'm fighting for the marriage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's having an easy pass, and and it's almost like the what usually happens is the woman that is always at fault. It's the way when the woman gets all the blame. And of course, Mary gets a lot of blame.
That is how the society makes it feel. But I think the guys, like you said, the guys involved too, they have to take responsibilities. Like John to have to take responsibilities as well.
But John, together, they were trying to sleep together. They just didn't care about their spouses, and they had this one night stand, like they prayed, So at the end of the day, they are both equally at fault. And if anybody is going to clear up this message to both of them, it's going to be just Mary. It's Mary and John. We can clear up this mess.
Oh, thank you.
Nothing else for the sake of the children, because those children need stability in their life.
That's true.
And then, I understand that they have to co-parent. If John still wants to be with his wife and he loves his wife and he's for the one night stand and he didn't really matter to him, then Mary has to accept that as well. And let John co-parent with her, because it's very important for the children to have their father in their life. And she's saying that, the children want their daddy and mommy together. To me, I agree with the last lady when she said she's manipulative, because it's true.
Yeah.
Because really, what conversation would you have had with the children for them people say that to you? You know what I mean? What conversation we have had with the children, they already know that you chose to divorce daddy. You've let daddy alone. You have kids for him, but yet he's supposed to initiate the divorce. And then he agreed to it, and both of you decide to go your separate ways, and you got chose to remarry. You chose to marry Roland. Why? John chose to marry. So you go in your separate ways. So now you're not claiming with the children when daddy and mommy together. When did they have that conversation with you? And what initiated the conversation? With all the children that you said to that day. And they're not saying, hey, we want daddy and mommy together. I mean, I don't. For me, it's I mean, I don't want to be Sarah. I mean, sorry, Mary, because I'm sure she probably feels terrible, But at the end of the day, she also needs to cook for herself, And my advice to Mary is be truthful to yourself, take time off, deep within your heart, and try to find, you need some answers. To find some answers within yourself, and then after she's got to that place, try to clear up some of this mess. Decide what you want to be with. But she has to be careful because if it's still John and John still wants to be with his wife, he might end up losing altogether. So she needs to be careful, especially when there's kids involved. And don't involve your children in all this as well. Don't start saying, oh, they want mommy and daddy together and all that. Children will always, all they want deep down is happy. They want to be happy. Ultimately, that's what most children want. They want a happy environment. They want parents that get along.
So the ultimate decision will now be in the hand of the adults because they created the match. They met themselves before the kids came into this world. You know what I mean? So
the adults, adults that committed the crime.
So you're talking about? Are you referring to Mary and John now?
I know, because at the end of the day, I mean, you have to be the one to do all the, bending and then trying to, make peace with the two victims. And I'll call them a victim because at the end of the day, I mean, they are the one that is affected the most, which is Jessica and Roland. And even for Roland to even contemplate thinking that, probably I made the wrong decision, maybe I should go back and all that. Obviously, you are feeling for Mary. So at the end of the day, Mary and John, they have to make the decision. They have to decide, okay, we've messed up. But deep down, I still love Roland, and you still love Jessica. You know what? Let's just try to find a way where we can end their trust again. Let's both just.
I think there's something. There is something between John and Mary that needed to be sorted out. How do we advise Mary to keep her skirt up, and John to keep his zip up? Because Jessica is the victim now. Jessica now is the victim. You understand what I'm saying now? Because John will have a free day, okay, with Mary as it is right now, okay? So the situation that actually led to all this complication, okay, is that Mary was not able to keep her skirt up, and John was not able to keep her zip up. So since that's the situation, how do you want to advise both of them in making sure that this scenario does not repeat itself?
It's very simple. They both have to just decide to be, not to just think of themselves and the next selfish. You both have to decide that there are other people involved in this relationship, in Jessica and Roland. And there are also children involved, not just the ones you had before, but also the baby. Is she had the baby? Or she's still pregnant?
She's still pregnant.
Okay, she's still pregnant. Okay, and the unborn child.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you need to keep our steps up, and Roland should do the same with the zip. It can only work if both of them don't have any attraction for each other.
If both of them don't have any attraction
for each other, no matter what they do.
Attraction. Okay. So Mary's listening. I think she's happy.
So if you're listening, my advice to you, and this is what, look, what we're saying here is by no means a condemnation. Nobody has any right to condemn anyone. We're all human, and anyone can
We're
make
here to
mistakes.
support you, Mary.
So
We're
it's
here
just,
to support you.
yeah, we're
Yeah.
just trying to, find the best way to advise you out of this. Ultimately, the decision is still going to be yours
Yeah.
and yours alone because it's your life. I would advise you that if you're certain that you don't have any feelings for John, and it was just a mistake, it was just a one night stand, a drunken moment, and all that, and really, that's what it was. And then I would just say, you know what? For you, it has happened. It's never been in the past. Now, what is the concentration is fighting for your marriage? And let it be known to John that this can't go on anymore. That happened that time, a moment of weakness or madness or whatever you want to call it. But now, for the sake of the children and everybody involved, I think, moving forward, I think it should just be just about the children and only about the children. How best we can co-parent together, you know. And I think we should make it very clear and let John understand that. And if John also, is certain that he's not in love with you, he loves Jessica, encourage him to work on his marriage. Encourage him to, to Jessica. Because I'm for him, Jessica still wants to give it a go. At least try to earn her trust. Because in a situation like this, I can promise you, without saying that I want, I trust him and all that, every time the message goes, want to go to his phone to see what the message is about, he'll always be suspicious of both of you. And rightly so, because of the situation that happened. For you, that's what have built trust with this and co-parent, you and John, you know, co-parent for the sake of the children that you already have and the unborn baby, you know. And I just pray that, God's grace, will abide with you and God will give you wisdom to be able to, sort out this situation in the way that will, that also bring you peace as well. Because I'm sure you're not happy, for you to bring this to Jesus and all that. I'm sure you're not happy. It's something that's probably playing a lot in your mind, So I know that God will, He'll grant the right resolution to all this.
Amen. Amen. Thank,
Now,
thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. God bless you. Now going back now. That now for those who are joining us, okay, who are just joining us, and this is just the takeaways and the point to note in the story that was shared for this particular episode. Okay, it goes this way. Uh, John and Mary were in love, okay? At a point, they fell out of love and went their separate ways. So John moved on to marry Jessica, and Mary moved on to marry Roland, okay? And then Mary had the custody of the children between herself and John. And Roland did not support or encourage any contact between Mary, his wife, and John, his wife's ex, or the ex of the wife, okay? And John and Mary met in a mutual friends party. Roland was not present in that party, and John seeks the opportunity to chat with Mary about the children, how you are the kids, are my kids, blah, blah, blah. Now, at a point, there was a twist in their conversation. They drifted into something else, okay? And their voice began to go so low and like a bedroom voice. Then something happened. They had a one-night stand, okay? That later led to her being pregnant. So Mary wanted to abort the pregnancy, but was advised against doing so by her doctor, stating the issue of complications, okay? Mary informed her husband and her ex about the situation. Roland walked out of the marriage with Mary, but Jessica held on to his John, that this is my John, I will not let you go. Okay, now, so Mary was confused on the way forward. The children Mary had with John were asking questions. Mommy, why did you do it? Mommy, why did you stoop so low? Mommy, and things like that. And again, Roland felt betrayed, but questioning his decision to walk away. The two children Mary and John had together wanted John, their father, back with their mom. So the big questions are as follows. What would you do if you were Mary? How would you have handled the situation if you were Roland or John? How do you see Jessica's position in the whole scenario? Do you have a life story related to this type of complicated relationship you want to share with us? The viewers wants to know and learn from you. And remember, we displayed the number to call on the screen. And those numbers are still there. Remember, yeah, those are the numbers to call on the screen. And so that you could actually have your own voice to this. Mary is, I believe, wherever Mary is right now, she's happy because she's had people talking and sharing and advising her on the way forward. And like I said, in this broadcast, we're not here to condemn anyone. We're here to support. We're not here to call people names. We're here to support. We're giving support to people who are in one complicated relationship or the other. So that's what we're there. So if I still want to hear from someone, just call in and let us hear your view as we begin to bring this segment to an end. I think we should actually bring it to an end right now because I just have 5 minutes to round up. So this is the situation that we are in right now. That I thank God for everyone that have contributed to this segment. It's your opinions, your views are quite insightful. Mary will be happy, John will be happy, Jessica will be happy, Rona will be happy to actually hear what you have actually said about them. That's quite good. That's quite good. That's quite good. So Mary, so just hold on to all these views and think on what to do because you are the only one that's going to make that decision. You call the last shot. Okay. These are just views, our opinion. It's not mandatory. Okay. That's but we actually support you. We understand what you are going through. So, Roland, you are contemplating on maybe you are contemplating on the decision you have made. You are the only one that has the last say as well. But you've heard our views as well and the views of other people in this segment. So if you have any comment, maybe you are not here live with us today, but you have a comment, just drop your comment on the comment section below on the YouTube page, okay, or on the Facebook. So just drop your comment there. So we're going to read your comment and then we'll actually work on that as well. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and also like our videos and click the notification bell in case we have a new video. You'll be the first person to be notified about that. Okay? That's what you need to understand. That's what we need to understand. So we are so grateful that you are here.
You
with
are
us.
watching and listening to Complicated Relationships Matters with Dr. Mark Ben, adding life and values to relationships.
Thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. So until next week, we come your way again. I still remain Mark Ben. Next week, Wednesday, we're coming up with another life story that we believe will be a kind of a blessing to you. And if you have a life story that you actually want to share with us, any complicated relationship story, you could actually also send us an email on our email address, complicatedrelationships@yahoo.com. Complicatedrelationship@yahoo.com, or send us also a WhatsApp message. The WhatsApp message will be attached, and that's the Irish number there, +353 899 666 22 and 1. 22 and 1. So until I come your way again, I remain Mark Ben. So you take care. God bless you. And keep doing what is good. Bye for now.